Welcome back, dear friends. This is the second section of this course and this is the first video from the second section. So inside this video we are going to discuss about the CSS, because inside the second section we are going to discuss about the basic of CSS. So inside the first section you have just covered the basic of HTML. So here inside the second section we are going to cover the basic of CSS. Then after completing the second section we will go to start our projects. So as I told, we are going to discuss about CSS. So this CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet CSS complete guide. Just you can visit my website wahidacademy.com for more tutorials or for more information. So what is CSS and what can I do with CSS? CSS is a style language that defines a layout of HTML documents. For example, CSS cover fonts, colors, margin, lines, height, width, background images, advanced position, and many other things. Just wait and see. HTML can be misused to add HTML can be misused to add layout to websites. But CSS offers more options and is more accurate and sophisticated. CSS is supported by all browsers today. After only a few lessons of this tutorial, you will be able to make your own style sheet using CSS to give your website a new great look. The CSS document has .css extension, so the HTML document has .html extension. The CSS document has .css extension. What is the requirement to work on CSS? No other requirement. You must have a code editor or a software like Notepad, Dreamweaver, and any other HTML code editor, like as I told, Bracket code editor, Dreamweaver, any code editor. So we are using Notepad++. If you want to use Notepad++, so you can just you can watch the first video of this course for downloading and installing of Notepad++. And if you want to use any other code editor, so you can use your own code editor. Now we are going to discuss about what is the difference between HTML and CSS. So difference between HTML and CSS, so in the left corner and in the right corner, you can just see by your own self, no need to explain. But in the left side you have you can see this the HTML example. On the right side we have HTML plus CSS example. So with the HTML you can just create the structure of just a website. So here we have a body, the structure of body, but here we have HTML with CSS, just the complete body. You can see with the racing, with the hairstyle, with all, just A to Z complete. So we have one more example for just HTML and CSS. The first image you can see this called HTML plus few CSS, HTML plus full CSS. The second image is HTML plus few CSS, and the third image is HTML plus full CSS. So now I'm sure that you are understand why we are using CSS. So HTML without CSS is incomplete. One more image, one more example I am just going to show you. So here you can see on the right corner we have just a basic layout that is created inside HTML, but in the left corner we have another layout that we have used HTML plus CSS. So this is the difference between HTML and CSS. Now inside this section, from the next class we are going to discuss start learning. Welcome back, dear friends. Inside this lecture we are going to start discussing or start learning CSS. Just go to file menu and save as this file at first. Inside the desktop we have a folder HTML and CSS. So this is the first section, coding. We are going to just create a new section for this. So this can be second section, and inside the second section we are going to save this by giving the name syntax.html. So inside this class we are going to discuss about syntax. That's why I have given the name syntax. So insert the basic structure of HTML, doctype, HTML, and HTML start, HTML close. Then we have head tag, title, just wrong spelling, title and CSS syntax. Then we have body tag, body start, body close. Now inside this head section you can close open CSS tag, or outside this body tag you can just open the CSS style tag here. So as I told, inside this class we are going to discuss about syntax. So what's syntax? Syntax is called the way of working with CSS. For example, we have just a heading 2 here, heading 2 or heading 1. I'm just writing here, hi web designers. So you can just save this and launch in Chrome from here, hi web designers. If you want to just take this tag inside CSS, for example heading 2, you have just select it, then open curly braces. You can say the color is, you can say, just red. Now save this and refresh. Now I'm just going to show you here inside the comment. Just like this, copy this, Control C, Control V, Control V. First we have selector, then we have just properties, then we have values. Yes, so in this case you can see that we have selected heading 2, which is a tag inside HTML. Inside CSS we have just selected heading 2. Heading 2 is a selector that we have selected. This called selector. Color is a property for this, and red is a value. You have just assigned a value for properties. So if you want to just use one more properties, for example background is equal to, I'm just saying yellow. So in this case background is a property and yellow is a value. Control S, a refresh. Now you can see. So this is just the way of working CSS. So you are just going to select, you are going to use the selector once or select once, and you are going to give for selector a property and for a property a value the same way. For example width, you are going to just define a width here, 300 or 400 pixel of width. Save this and refresh. Now you can see this width for this property, and here width is a property and 400 pixel is a value, not values. Save this. So this is just about syntax. So from the next class we will come back, we will discuss about CSS method. So I hope you understand about CSS syntax. Once again I'm going to tell you, CSS syntax is called the way of working with CSS. So this is not just necessary that always you should insert heading 2. You have p tag, you have article tag, you have img tag, but this is just the way. For example I'm just going to insert a p tag here, so some paragraph. For example my name is Abdul Wahid, just this much. So you can just select the p tag here and open curly braces, then the properties. For example a background for this should be green color background, and a text color for this should be just totally orange color, and save. Now you can see the preview and refresh. So here p is a selector, background is a property, green is a value, again color is a property, and orange is a value. So this is just the second example that we have discussed here. So as I told, in the next class we will come back, we will discuss about CSS methods. So I will see you inside the next class. CSS. So I'm sure you understand what is CSS, what is the difference between HTML and CSS. So without wasting the time, see you in the next class. Inside this lecture we are going to discuss about CSS method. So open your code editor, go to file menu and save as this file inside the second section folder. So css-method.html, save as this file. So empty the body area and style tag CSS method, methods, methods. So I want to just write inside notepad just we have 3 method to use CSS. 3 method. Number 1 is called external, external external. Number 2 is called internal, and number 3 is called inline. So 3 ways to use CSS: external, internal, inline. So let's start from number 1. For example, if you have just a heading 1 here, so this called welcome to wahidacademy.com. Just this is a heading. Save this and launch the file in Chrome. So welcome to wahidacademy.com here. Now if you want to apply CSS on this heading 1, you can just create a new file by pressing Ctrl+N or Command+N, or go to file menu and click new to create a new file, just like this. And you can just write anything for right now, and Ctrl+S to save inside the same folder by giving any name. I'm just giving a style.css. This is a CSS file, that's why I'm just giving the extension .css. So now our file name is style.css. You can just use a link tag here, link tag, to link the file. rel is called relationship, and the type of file is style sheet, because we are going to link a CSS file, and the type of CSS file is style sheet, STYLE SHEET, and href hypertext reference. You can set the name of your file is style.css. Very simple. Now you can write your HTML coding inside this page, css method.html page, and you can write your CSS code here inside style.css code. We have a heading 1. You can just select and copy this and paste here. Open the curly braces, and you can see the color of this should be something like blue color, and you can just save, go to your browser and refresh. Now you can see we have a blue color. You want to just increase the font size. Font size is something like 28px. Save this and refresh. So you can just increase 38px. I want a big size here, so this 38 pixel of font size. So this is the first method that we have used here externally. CSS we have used externally with the new file, and we have just linked this here inside link tag. And now we are going to just use CSS internally. So CSS internally is called here. I want to just make this for right now comment. I want to just remove the link from here. So this is just not one, this exclamation mark. Now save this and refresh. So we have just lost the format. No, don't worry, Ctrl+C once again and paste inside this style tag. Now we are going to use CSS internally. Open curly braces. The text color should be blue once again, I'm just saying, and the font dash size should be same 38 pixel, and save this and refresh. Now you can see this just giving us the same result. Welcome to wahidacademy.com, and the text color is blue and the font size is 38 pixel. So this called when you are using CSS inside the same web page inside style tag. So this called you are using CSS internally, but when you are using CSS inside a separate file, so this called you are using CSS externally. But again, I'm just going to make these comments, or just leave this. I want to just cut this once, Ctrl+X, and you can just use CSS inline. This is called the third method, inline. So open a style tag here, equal sign, double quotation. So you can say the color should be not blue, this time green color. The background color should be just yellow, and the font size should be 40px. Now you can save this we have used CSS inline here and refresh. Now you can see this is just a new result. So you can just use CSS in 3 ways. So this is called 3 methods: externally, internally, or inline. So this called just externally, and this called internally inside this, and this called inline inside the tag you are opening, just a style tag just like this called inline. So I hope you are understand and you have enjoyed from watching this video. So see you in the next class. Inside this lecture we are going to discuss about text properties. So we have 9 properties for the text. Number 1 is color, number 2 is text align, number 3 is text transform, text indent, 5 text shadow, number 6 is letter spacing, word spacing, line height, and final text decoration. So open your code editor and we are just going to write a heading, just a heading 2. This is, you can just write here, this is a simple heading example. So we have heading 2. You can just select this, or directly you can just write here and open curly braces. The first one that we have here is called color. So you can just change the text color, color, color properties, and you can just give red, blue, any color. Save this and launch in Chrome. And this called this a simple heading example with the red color. You can just say blue, green, or any other color. Control S and refresh. But you can just write on the browser HTML color names, and you can just select the W3 Schools website for picking just a color. You can just write directly the color names, just write like red, blue, or you can just insert the code. For example, this brown color, I want to just copy the code, Control C, and you can just paste instead of blue and save this. Now go to your web page and refresh. Now we have a brown color. Any color you want, you can just pick the code from here, select and copy and insert here. Control V and save. Go to your web page and refresh. Now we have an orange color. So this was about the first properties, color. The second property is text align. You can just write here text dash align. You can say center, CNTR, center. If you want to align your text in center, if you want right, so you can just write, put the alignment right and save, and left. So we have 3 values for the text align: left, right, center. So I want to just put this on left for right now. And we have text transform. So you can just write here text transform, text dash transform. You can say upper case. If you want to just in upper alpha, you can see this in capital ABCD. We have lower case or WER lowercase and a refresh. So this lowercase, one more value we have here, this called capitalize. Save this and refresh. So each word first letter will be written in capital letter, you can see. So for these properties we have 3 value: capitalize, lowercase, uppercase. After this we have text indent. So we are going to discuss this in the last. Text shadow, we are going to discuss about the text shadow. Text shadow, you can just give shadow from 2 sides. For example, I want just 5 pixel shadow from the bottom and 5 pixel shadow from the right side, and the color of shadow should be what's the text color? So it is orange. We are giving a green color for this green color shadow. Save and refresh. Now you can see this a shadow. If you want to blur the shadow, you can just provide 5 pixel blur for the shadow. Now you can save and refresh. Now you can see this a simple heading example with the green shadow. and you can provide shadow from bottom, from the right, and the third pixel will be for the blur of shadow. You can give shadow in any color, red, green, or any other color, and save. You can just give shadow in with the code also. For example, this code with the gray color, Control C and paste instead of this red, Control V and save. Go to your web page and refresh. So this just after text shadow we have letter spacing. You can just use letter spacing to create letter space between letters. For example, 10 pixel of letter spacing between each letters. Now you can see 10 pixel of letter. You can just increase or decrease the letter 1 pixel or 5 pixel, save and refresh, just like this. After that we have word spacing, so you can just use word spacing here. You can say word spacing, just same 10 pixel of word spacing between each words. Now you can see, you can say 20 pixel, save once again and refresh. Now we have 20 pixel of space between each words. After that we have line height. For just using line height, you must provide a height for this at first. For example, the height of this, first we are just going to give a background for this. Background should be just something like blue color, and the height something like 50 pixel. Save this and refresh. Now you can see this is just a background of blue color and the height is 50 pixel. Now if you want to just position this text in center vertically, you need to use line height. Line height, same 50 pixel is the height. We are going to provide 50 pixel the line height. Now save and refresh. Now this text is totally in center vertically. If you want to just align this horizontally in center, so you can just use here text align center. It will just position your text in center horizontally. After text line height we have text decoration. So let's use just text decoration, text dash decoration. You can say underline if you want to just make your text underline. Now you can see we have underline here. We have overline if you want a line on the over of your text, so you can use overline. You can use just line through if you want just a line through your text, so you can just use line through, and you can just use none if you don't want no underline, no overline, no line through. Save, just like this. So now we are going to discuss about text indent, because this just we have skipped that. Now we are going to discuss about this text indent. So text indent, just simply write text indent, and for example 100 pixel of text indent for this heading 2. Now focus on this, refresh. So it will just minus or decrease. It will work as a margin left if you are applying this on a heading, but we are just going to I want to just put this the line of this text on center, not center, left, and save, refresh. 200 pixel or 300 pixel of text indent for this heading. So now focus on the text. Now you can see we have used 300 margin left for this text, but it will work different if you are applying this on the paragraph. For example, I want to just I'm just going to remove this text indent from here, text indent, remove, and save, a refresh. Now after this heading 2, I want to just insert an article and duplicate this 2 to 3 times, and copy some text from Microsoft Word and paste inside this article text 1 time, 2 time, and 3 time. Save and refresh. Now we have just 3 paragraph, 1, 2, 3. I want to just make some space between this paragraph, so simply go to your CSS inside the style tag and write article open curly braces, and margin. I want to just use 20 pixel of margin for these paragraphs to make them separate. Now you can see, and some padding from the left I want to just use for them, or just leave padding. I want to just use here text dash indent, 10 pixel of text indent on the articles. Now you can see the first line is just indent text pixel. If you are applying the text indent properties on the paragraph or article tag, it will work just for the first line. Now you can see the result. Instead of just 10, I'm using 30 pixel. Save this and refresh. Now you can see it is just 30 pixel of text indent, just 50, or you can just provide 70 pixel and refresh. Now you can see this 70 pixel of text indent for this one. So you can just minus, for example, padding from the left, you can say 200 pixel of padding from the left for the article and refresh. Now you can just minus this text indent, minus 70 pixel. It will just come out like this because you have minus this. So this is the usage of text indent, and we have discussed about text properties, and it is 9 in numbers. I hope you are understand, and till the next class, at least watch this video and do practice whatever you have learned from this video. So see you in the next class. Welcome back, dear friends. Inside this lecture we are going to discuss about font properties and CSS font properties. We have 4 font properties: font size, font family, font weight, font style. So just open your code editor and simply a paragraph tag, copy some text from Microsoft Word and paste inside the paragraph text and save. Go to run menu and launch this in Chrome. Now you can see this is just a text that we have a normal text inside the p tag. P tag is used for paragraph tag, and it is same to article tag. So here inside the style tag, we are going to select the p tag, open curly braces. The first properties that we have is font size. We are going to discuss about font size. Font dash size, you can say just, for example, 30 pixel of font size. If you want to just increase the font size, it's just 30 pixel of font size. So you can just give in pixel, 30 pixel, 20 pixel. Save this and refresh. So just like this, 25 pixel. Control S to save and refresh. So the same way you can just give on PT. PT is called point, 25 point. Save this, it is bigger than pixel. You can see 25 point. So you can just give 20 point or PT. Save this and refresh. And you can just give this on, for example, 3 EM. EM is called emphasize. Control S to save and refresh. Now you can see EM is big size. 2 EM is just equal to, I can say, just 230 pixel, something like this. And you can just give in EM, in pixel, and point, or you can just say on centimeter. For example, I want to just say to 0.7 centimeter cm of font size and refresh. Now you can see this just on 0.7 centimeter. If you are just giving 1 centimeter, so it is just big size. Control S and refresh. So we have just millimeter, double M, Control S, refresh. So you can see, you can just give here, for example, something like 10 millimeter. Save and refresh. This just 10 millimeter of font size. And you can just say here, for example, you can say large. Save this and refresh. So this large, you can say extra large, X large, Control S, refresh. So you can just say double extra large. Save this and refresh. So like this, you can just say font size. you can just give in large, extra large, or just X large. In pixel and point and emphasize, you can just say in centimeter, in millimeter. Just you can just set your font size. The second property that we have is font family. You can just say font family, font dash family, dash family, font family dash family is called something, for example 40 is just a font family name. Save this and refresh, so you can see it is totally changed. And you can find font family from notepad, go to format, and inside the font you can just find from here. For example, I'm just going to select any font from here, this one, res itc. You can just copy the name and paste inside this instead of 40. Paste and save this. Now you can come here and refresh. We have a different font here, so you can just find from here, or just go to google.com and type font family, paste font, so you can just find the name from Google also. And you can see this is just a font family that we have selected here. On number 3 we have font weight. You can just write here font weight, font dash weight. You can say just bold. Save this, so it is bold, or you can say just normal. Save this and refresh, so it is normal. So you can just give this on number also. If you are just giving 900, so it will be bold. If you are giving 100, it will be normal, so the same value. So you can see you can just give 500 here, Control S and refresh. So like this you can just use from 100 till 900 in number. So this just about font weight, font style. So you can just write here font style, font dash style. You can say normal, or you can say italic. Just two properties for font style we have: italic. Save and refresh. Now you can see this italic, and you can say normal and save this, refresh. So for font style you have two properties, normal and italic. So I hope you are understand about font properties like font size, font family, font weight, and font style. These are all just the basic things that we are going to cover inside this second section. So till next class, try to watch the video and practice whatever you have learned from this video. Have a nice time and see you. Welcome back, dear friends. Inside this lecture we are going to discuss about how to use image as a background. So open your code editor and save as this file by giving the name styling dash background dot html is the extension, and save. Now empty body area just till here, and you can just make style tag also empty. CSS background is the title. Now you can just launch your file in Chrome, and we have a white background here. So just directly you can select body, Control C, and you can paste inside the style tag and open a curly braces, and you can just write background as a property. And for example, you want to use a blue background color, so you can see this the blue background. You can just use red, orange, or any other color. Save this and a refresh. So this orange background. So if you want to use image as a background, so just go to your folder inside HTML5 CSS3 second section. So we have two images here, number 1, number 2. So you can use any of this. Inside CSS you can just remove this background. You can say dash image, then a colon, put URL, round bracket, and semicolon. The name of image is 2 and the type is JPG. Just save and refresh. Now you can see that we have an image here as a background. So let's just insert some data inside body tag. For example, a heading 1, welcome to my website. Welcome to my website. And I want to just use some BR after this, BR and another BR, another BR, and just duplicate this, Control D or Command D to duplicate, save, and just focus on the right side after refreshing. Now you can see we have just a scroll bar here, and you can see that the image is repeated after again and again. So if we just use, instead of this image 2, image 1 here, 1.jpg, you can just save this and refresh. Now you can see this image is ended here, but again it is just repeated. So if you want to just remove the repetition, so you can just write here background dash repeat. We have a property for this, and the value should be no repeat. It will just remove the repetition. Now you can see we have only one image. And so one more thing, when we are scrolling to down, the image and the text both are scrolling. So I want to just scroll the text and the image should be fixed. So for that we have another property, background attachment, and the value must be fixed. Save and refresh. Now you can just scroll down, we have just the image, so you can just change the text color to white. So we have heading 1, you can just say heading 1, and the text color white. Save and refresh. Now you can just scroll down, you can see the image is not moving and not scrolling, just the text is scrolling. So for this background dash attachment, we have two properties. Number 2 is just scroll. Save this and refresh. Oh, just control Z and save this, come back and refresh. So it is just fixed. You can just use scroll, save this and refresh. So we have just lost the image, not lost the image because it is here. So by default it is just on the scroll. You can just use the fixed value to make this fixed, just here, fixed. Save and refresh. Now it is fixed, and we have just background, image background. You can see you can just use image 2 or image. We have 2 image for right now, and refresh. So you can see this image is just small in size, that's why it's just looking just like this. So you can just use image number 1 here, save and refresh. So this image we are just going to check the size on details. So you can see 800 by 500 image number 2 is 800 by 500 pixels, so this just is small in size. But image number 1 is, we can just check from here, 1600 pixel by 900 pixel. This is just a big size image. So if you want to use image as a background, so try to use a big size image just like this one as a background. So I hope you are understand and you are enjoyed from watching this video. So in next class we will come back, we will discuss about border and border radius. So see you in the next class. In this lecture we are going to discuss about border and border radius. So open the code editor and save as this file inside the second section folder by giving the name border dash radius.html. So remove all this from the body area and from the CSS, and CSS border and border radius. Border. Save this file, go to run menu and launch this in Chrome. So open the folder, HTML5 CSS3 folder, second section. So we don't have any images here. I'm just going to copy some image from here, from the first section folder. For example, this 2 image, Control C to copy and paste inside the second section folder, Control V. Skip the file. So this number 4, and this image is also number 4 because that's why it does not work. So let's just copy number 3, Control C and paste inside the second section. Now we have 2 image, 3 and 4. Okay, so insert the image. We have already learned how to insert the image, source equals sign, single or double quotation. So 4.jpg is an image. You can just define the width from here 500 and the height should be something like auto. Save this and refresh. So this is the image. Use a center tag to bring this image in center. Cut the closing tag of center and paste after the image tag. Save this and refresh. So I want to just duplicate this 3 to 4 times. This one is just number 3, 4, number 3. Save and refresh. So we have 4 images, you can see. So you can say this 2 is just number 4 and this 2 is number 3, just like this. Control S, refresh. Okay, so we are discussing about border and border radius. I'm just going to select the img tag. So for border, BOR border, we have 4 kind of border. I'm just going to write here CSS border, BORDER border. Number 1 is solid, number 2 is dotted, number 3 is groove, number 4 is dashed border. So for the first one we are just going to use solid border, for example 3 pixel. The type of border should be solid and the color should be green border and with a semicolon. Save and refresh. So not work. img border 3 pixel solid green. So img, okay, border solid green 3px. Yes, sometimes it happens and refresh. So this 3 pixel of solid green border, if you change from solid to dotted, Control S and refresh. So this dotted, so you can just increase or decrease the size of border. Save. And this 6 pixel of dotted border, you can just change this to groove, GROOVE, and save this. Once again refresh. So this just a groove border. For example, instead of 6, I'm just giving 16 pixel of groove border to make it just clear. So this just the style for groove border and it is different from solid. So this solid, save this and refresh. So you can see solid is simple and groove is just with a border line, GROOVE, groove. This groove border. And number last we have just dashed border, DASHED, dashed border. Save and refresh. So dashed border, oh sorry, just green dashed. Save and refresh. So this dashed border you can see, and the difference between dashed and dotted you can just see here clearly. Save and refresh. This just dotted border. So we have 4 kind of border. For example, this dotted, solid, groove and dashed. So you can just use, for example, I'm just going to create a class for this one. Class is equal to, you can say, img1. So we have a class for class and id. Just in coming classes we will discuss about this. You can paste here, and paste here. So this image number 2, this number 3, and this number 4. Now instead of this you can just use .img1. so you can just select the image number 1. For class we are going to call the class with $sign, and the name of class is img1. Then a curly braces, you can say border from the bottom, you can say 5 pixel, the type should be solid and the color should be red. Just border from the bottom for the image number first, you can see. So border from the top, you can use border from the top, you can say just 10 pixel, the type should be dotted, and color should be just blue color, and save this. Now come here and refresh, so you can see this is the border from the top. You can just give border from the left, something like 15 pixel, type should be groove, and color should be green. Save and refresh. So this is just a groove border, and border from the right, something like 20 px, type should be dotted or dashed, and the color should be totally orange color. You can just save this and refresh. So you can see we have just image, we have used 4 kind of border just on one image. So this is just the beauty of border, and this is just the different way that you can use border. Now we have just discussed about the border. We are going to use about border radius. So let's just use some radius. I'm just going to remove this and select just img, and you can say just border dash radius, something like 50 pixel. It will just round the image 50 pixel, you can see. Just let's use some border also, border 6 pixel, just solid, and it will select by default a black color, you can see. So it is just 50 pixel. You can just use 100 pixel of border radius. Now you can see this 100 pixel. If you want, so you can just use 100% also. It will just totally round the image, you can see, like this. So you can use border radius like this also. For example, border radius 0 pixel, 0 pixel, and 0 pixel, and 100% just from one side. And you can just save this, refresh. Now it will just give a shape just like this. You can just say this one also should be 100%, and number second also 100%, and number 1 is just 0 pixel, just like this. Now you can see this just a different shape. So like this you can just use border radius. For example, the first 2 should be 100%, and the last 2 should be, you can say 0 pixel by 0 pixel, 0 px by 0 px, like this. Save and refresh. So this is just a different shape. So you can just use border and border radius in different place for different purpose, but this is the usage that I have just shown you, I have just explained for you. So I hope you like this video and you have enjoyed from watching this video. So in next class we will come back and we will discuss about a new topic. So see you in the next class. What's up friends, inside this lecture we are going to discuss about box and text shadow. So open your code editor and simply first we are going to create a simple box and we will write some basic text inside the box. Then we will use some shadow for the box and the text. So just for creating the box we are going to use div. Div is used for division. So div, you can just give a class for this, or you can just directly Without class, we are going to just manage this div. Inside this, I am just writing this is a simple box. Just save this. You can just Ctrl C to copy this div and paste inside the style tag, inside style tag, CSS style tag. So you can just define a width for your box, 500 pixel width, and the height should be same, 500 pixel, and the line height, I hope you all remember what is the usage of line height. 500 pixel for line height to bring the text vertically in center, and the text align should be same center, and the background for this should be just black color, and the text color should be white color, and save this. Launch in Chrome, and you can see you have just a box 500 by 500 pixel width and height, and you have used line height 500 pixel to take this text in center vertically, and text align center to take this text in center horizontally. You can see text align center here, center, and line height 500 pixels. So you can just increase the font size, font dash size, I am just saying 2em for this one. Save and refresh. So it is okay. Now we have just created a box just by 500 pixel width and 500 pixel height, and with the black background color and a white text color. So here you can just say for box shadow, you can just use box dash shadow, and you know the rule of shadow. Just I'm saying 7 pixel of shadow from the bottom and 7 pixel of shadow from the right side, 7 pixel for the blur, and the color of shadow should be something maybe like red, or we are using orange color of shadow here for the box. Refresh, so you can see this just the shadow. And here one more way I'm just going to show you. You can just set 0 pixel from the bottom, 0 pixel from the right, and 100 pixel of blur shadow. It will just take all over, you can see. And if you are just giving one more 0 pixel here and save and refresh, now you can see. But we are not going to use, or you can just decrease this one, for example something like 10 pixel we are going to use. Save this and refresh. So you can just use shadow like this, but we are going to use 6 pixel of shadow from the bottom and 6 pixel from the right side and 6 pixel for the blur, and the color of shadow should be totally red. Save and refresh. So you can see this a shadow for the box, and you can just increase or decrease the width, the size of shadow. 16 by 16 pixel I have used shadow. Now you can see we have just a big size shadow for the box. So the same way you can just give shadow for the text. You can just use text shadow for the text dash shadow. So 5 pixel bottom, 5 pixel from the right, and 5 pixel of blur. The color of shadow should be totally yellow, and save this. A refresh. Now you can see we have a text shadow for the text also. So these all things are very easy and basic things, so it is necessary for you to learn all these basic things, and we will use all these basic things inside the project to create or to build a complete website. So I hope you like this video and you have learned about box and text shadow. So in next class we will come back, we will discuss about margin and padding. So see you in the next class. Welcome back dear friends. Inside this lecture we are going to discuss about CSS class and CSS ID. So you can see CSS class and ID is the title. So I'm just going to open an article tag or a p tag. You can just open this, duplicate this 3 to 4 times. So I want to just copy some text from Microsoft Word and paste inside the article. First one, this number second, this number third, and this number last. You can just save this, go to run menu and launch this in Chrome. So this is just very easy. go to your style tag and simply select article tag, open curly braces and a margin for that, something like 20 pixel of margin to make them just separate, and refresh. So you can see we have 4 paragraphs, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, now if you just give a background color for this background color, for example red background color, and the text color should be just white text color, you can just save this and refresh. So it will apply for all of them, just on all article text. So if you want to just give a different style for the first one, for the second, for each of them you want to give a different style, so in that case you need to create a class or id. For example, inside the first article I'm going to create a class equal sign double quotation, so you can say art1, it means article 1. I'm just going to copy this, control C, paste inside the second article starting tag, control V, so this is just art2. Here we are going to create an id is equal to, you can say art3, and you can copy this, control C, you can paste inside the fourth one, art4. now we have 2 id and 2 class, so we are going to call a class with dot sign and an id with hash sign. So this is just the big difference between id and class. We are going to call a class with dot and an id with the hash sign. First we are going to just call the class dot art1 for the article 1. you can say the background should be just black color and the text color should be white, and save this. Now you can refresh. So this is just for the first article, and you can just use margin from the bottom, margin bottom, you can say just 20 px margin from the bottom, save and refresh. Now you can see, so you can just duplicate this, control D 4 times. So the last 2, 3 and 4 is just id, that's why we are going to call this with the id. So we are going to call id with hash sign and class 4 with the dot, and here this number 3 art number 4. For number 2 the background color should be just something like totally red, the text color should be yellow, and margin bottom is okay. For the third one background color should be, you can say brown color, the text color is white, okay, brown, brown, wn. The third one background color should be just something like blue, and the text color should be yellow. Now you can save this and refresh. Now you can see we have 4 paragraph with 4 different style. So this is just the beauty of class and id. So the big difference between class and id is that you are going to call id with hash sign and class with the dot sign. So there is no different, and you can just create a class everywhere, and you can just give a num for the class, and you can just call the class and give the different style. For example, so the second example, what we can do, we can just you have, I'm just going to remove this from the body tag and this one also. So I'm just going to insert here inside the body tag a heading 1 tag. So this is a simple example. So I want to just duplicate this 3 to 4 times, and if you are just going to give here, first we are going to create a class here, class equal sign double quotation, for example age1 or ad1. you can just copy, you can just give any kind of name for your class, control C, you can just give heading 2, this just number 3, this number 4, and this one is number 5. So we have 5 class, number 5 not 4. So copy the first one, control C, and we are calling a class with dot sign, dot heading 1 The background color should be something like yellow, a yellow, and the text color should be red, and you can just say the width should be 400 pixel, and the height should be 40 px, and the line height should be same 40 px. Now you can save this and refresh. So you can see this is the first class setting. Now you can just duplicate this 3 to 4 times. So you can just call this heading 2. The background color you can change for just red. The text color should be yellow, opposite of that, and other thing is okay. The text background color should be black, the text color should be white, and the background color should be green. The text color should be you can say just white. Save this. Once again you can just refresh. So you can just change the name, this number 3, this number 4, Control S and refresh. Now you can see, so one is left. You can just define or duplicate this, Control D. This just for number 5. The background color for this one should be just blue, and the text color is white. Okay, save this and refresh. So this is just the beauty of class. Instead of class you can just use ID. For example, for number 3 I'm just going to use ID, and here I'm just going to use a dot instead of hash sign. So there is no any big difference. Save, there is no changes. So it was about class and ID. I hope you understand and you have enjoyed from watching this video. So in next class we will come back, we will discuss about Pasero, or you can say compound class inside CSS. So have a nice time and see you. In our last class we have discussed about CSS class and CSS ID. So in this class we are going to discuss about CSS Pasero class, or you can say CSS compound class. Open your code editor and save as this file inside the second section folder by the name of Pasero, PASEUDO-class.html. Save this. Now you need to just empty this body area and this style tag area. So from here till here you can just select and remove CSS Pasero or compound class. Now you can just save this file and just launch in Chrome. So this is just an empty white background file. So suppose that you have here a heading 2 tag number 1. So once again I'm just going to write here, for example, heading 1, and you have just here a p tag, then you have just a heading 5 tag, you have just a b tag here for bolding the text. B tag is used to bold the text. You have I tag to italic the text, and finally you have just a heading 3 tag also. Then we have an article tag. So here I'm just going to write this is a test example, so you can just copy this, Control C, you can paste inside the paragraph tag, inside the heading 5, inside the b text, inside the I text, inside the heading 3, and inside the article tag, and you can just save, go to your browser and refresh. Now you can see I'm just going to zoom this is the heading 1, this the, you can just see by number, paragraph tag, heading 5 tag, and b tag and I tag. So you can just use a BR after this b tag to break the line and save. Come here and refresh. Now we have just them in separate lines, so we can use BR inside HTML for break or line break. Now if you want to just give the same style for all of them, so for that we can use compound or pasero class, you can say. So on number one, we have here heading 1. I'm just going to select heading 1, then a comma, then we have a p tag, then another comma, then we have heading 5, then another comma, then we have a b tag, a comma, then we have I tag, then another comma, the heading 3, second last, then a comma, then article tag, then open curly braces. We have just selected heading 1, paragraph tag, heading 5 tag, b tag, I tag, heading 3, and article tag. You have just selected all of them in one lines. Now I want to just give a background, an orange background color for all of them. You can just save and refresh. Now you can see you can just use a font size for all of them, font size or font family, you can say something like Comic Sans MS. Save this and refresh, and you can just define a width and height, width of 500 pixel and a height of just, you can say 50 pixel, and a line height of 50 pixel. Save this and refresh. So you can just text align center, you can use text align center. It will be just apply on all of them at once. So this just the beauty of so you can see we have just defined width 500 pixel and height. You can just define width 700 pixel and save and refresh. So you can see this just b tag and this just article tag, b tag, I tag, italic tag. So the width attribute is not working on this too. So what is the matter? We have just b tag, then we have I tag, because we have used a br here, so that's why it is not. Let's cut this and save and refresh. Now you can see these two is just in one line, and I want to just use a br, and you can just take them separately. No matter, this is not a big problem. Save this. So it is just working perfectly. So you can just select multiple element in one line, and you can give the same style, or you can just use to give the same format for different elements. So this the usage of pasero class, or you can say compound class. So you can just select all of them just by using a comma, and select the next element, a comma, the next element, a comma, just like this. As many elements you have, you can just select them in one line, and you can just define any style inside CSS, and this is the result. So I hope you have learned about CSS pasero or compound classes, and you have enjoyed from watching this video. So in next class I'll come back and we will discuss about a new topic. So see you in the next class. Welcome back, dear friends. Inside this class we are going to discuss about margin and padding. So open your code editor, and simply we are going to create a div and div close. Inside this I want to just write a sentence with the heading 1. This is a simple text, very simple, and select the div, Ctrl C, and paste inside the style tag, open curly braces. The width for this should be something like 700 pixel, and the height for this should be 500 px, and the background should be just totally green color, and the text color should be white. Save and launch in Chrome. Now we have just a box with 700 pixel width and 500 pixel height, and the text color is white. So text align center and line height to bring your text in center vertically, just 500 pixel of line height, because the height of element is 500 pixel. And if you want to just increase the font size, you can say just 2em. Ctrl S and refresh. So 2em. Now we are going to use some margin at first. So you can say just margin, overall margin. If you are using margin, so it will affect all around this box. For example, 50 pixel of margin I have just used for this box. Now we can just refresh. Now you can see we have 50 pixel margin from the left and 50 pixel margin from the top. So we can just remove the default margin. We have already discussed before about this margin 0 pixel and padding 0 pixel. You can save and refresh. Now we can see now 50 pixel margin from the top and 50 pixel from the left. You can just increase or decrease the margin, save and refresh. And you can see 150 from the left, 150 from the top. This is just margin, and whenever you are using margin, it will affect outside of this box, not inside of this box. So for example, you can just use margin like this also. For example, I'm just going to remove this, save. There is no margin for right now. So if you want just margin from the left, so you can just use margin from the left. For example, 80 pixel of margin from the left. So save this and refresh. So it is 80 pixel margin only from the left. You can just use margin from the top. So you can say just 200 pixel of margin from the top. Now we can see 200 pixel of margin from the top and 80 pixel of margin from the left. We are not going to use margin from the right and from the bottom because we have more space here. So we are going to target the left and the top because we have less space. That's why we always use margin from the left and the top. And the margin will affect outside of the box. You need to just remember this. Now we are going to use padding. So for using padding, simply write padding and just simply 50 pixel of padding. Save. And now I want to just refresh, and you need to focus on the size of this box. Now you can see it has just increased. So just this margin top, I want to just make this 80. Save and refresh. Not 800, just 80 pixel. Save and refresh. Now I want to use padding, just instead of 50, 100 pixel. Save. And again you need to focus on the size of this box. Now you can see whenever I'm using padding, for example, I have used here 100 pixel of padding, so it will affect on the box, not outside of the box. So it will just increase the size of box just 100 pixel. So you can just the same way that you have used margin left, margin top, so you can just use padding also. I'm just going to remove these ones, Control S and refresh. So there is no padding. Now I'm just going to use some padding just from the top, something like 100 pixel of padding from the top. Save. Now you can refresh. So you can see the top of the text is longer than the bottom of the text. So it means that it is 100 pixel taller than the bottom because we have used 100 pixel of padding from the top. If you are using 100 pixel of padding from the bottom, padding bottom 100 pixel from the text, so you can see now it is equal. So the same way you can just use padding from the left and padding from the right. So the difference between padding and margin will affect outside of this box and padding will affect inside of this box. So this is the big difference between margin and padding. So I hope you have learned, and if you have any kind of question or suggestion, donation related to this course, you can post your question inside QA section of this course. I will just answer your question as soon as possible. Thank you. Have a nice time. Welcome back, dear friends. Inside this lecture we are going to discuss about margin and padding, and without wasting the time, open the code editor and simply we are going to insert a div here and a class and div close. The name of this class can be box, and Control C to copy this, dot box, open curly braces, and the width for this box should be 400 pixel, not 4000, 400, and the height for this box should be 200 pixel, and the background color totally green, and the text color white color. Now you can save, go to run menu and launch in Chrome. So we have just a box which the width is 400 pixel, the height is 200 pixel with the green background color. Now go to MS Word and copy some text from here. Just open a p tag inside the div tag and you can just paste the text here. Now you can save and refresh. So the text color is white because you have just set it the text color white here. Now as we are discussing about floating and aligning, so the first attribute we are going to discuss about this is float. You can just say float for this right because by default it is already on the left side. Refresh. Now this box is located on the right side because we have set it here float right. If you are giving here float left, so this will come on the left side, and by default it is also located on the left side. So for the float attribute we have two values, left and right. After discussing of floating, now we are going to discussing about aligning. So just very simple, you can just write here text dash align, text align. The first attribute you can just use is justify. Now you can save this and go to a web page and refresh. After refreshing you can just focus on this text. Refresh. Now you can see the text is totally justify, and you can just set the text align to right, to center, to left. This just to the right. If you want to just put this to the left, you can just write here left and refresh, and center, save and refresh. So this just totally in center. So this the better way is that you should put in justify and save this. Now you can refresh. If you want to just make some space around this text, very easy, you can just use some margin for this text. Margin, for example 7 pixel of margin for this text. Now you can see, and padding, just not margin, we are using padding here. Save. Padding is working inside the box. Now you can see. So if you want to just take this box in center, we have just already discussed about this. You can say margin 0 auto to take this box in center. Now you can just refresh, margin 0 auto. So I'm just going to remove this margin, Control X and save. Now come here and refresh. So again this is just not working, margin 0 auto. Save once again and refresh. So with 400 pixel, height 200, background green, text color white, float left, and just remove these ones, Control X and save this. Now refresh. So you can see this is totally in center. When you are using float attribute, so this property will not work, margin 0 auto, because we have used float left, so this property was not work. So you must use one of them, margin 0 auto, to bring your element in center, or float left or right. So this just not very just you can say important. And this it was about floating and aligning, and it was this that much that I had just explained for you, and I hope you are going to like this video and you have enjoyed from watching this. And in next class I will come back, we will discuss about display and visibility property. So have a nice time and see you. Welcome back dear friends. Once again, this is the last video of the second section. So inside this video we are going to discuss about display and visibility property. Open the code editor. I'm in Notepad++, and I have already saved this page by giving the display-visibility.html the name, and I have saved this page. So CSS display and visibility property is the title. So very simple, just open a div and a class, equal sign, double quotation, close. So I want to just make this duplicate 2 more time. The first class is x and x value, y, so the same thing, y, and z, or you can just say z. Control S to save. And now we are going to use here compound or pseudo class dot x comma dot y comma dot z, and just open curly braces. You can say the text color should be white, and the text align should be center, and the font size dash size should be something like 25 pixel, and the width for them should be something like 300 pixel, and the height should be something like 300 pixel to same. Control S. Now come here, so not here, just go to run menu and launch in Chrome. So no display. Let's check dot x dot y dot z. So dot x we have here, text color white, text align center, font size 25 pixel, width and height. So okay, it's okay. Dot x, open curly braces, the background color should be just something like red, and you can duplicate 2 more time. Dot y and dot z, the last one. So here you can just give something like black, and for the last one you can give something like green. Now you can save once again and refresh. So you can see we have just 3 boxes here. And as we are going to discuss about CSS display and visibility properties, so for display we have 4 properties: CSS display block, display inline, inline block, and none. So first thing, it is by default block. If you are just going to write here display block, Control S and just save, so no changes. The second attribute, CSS inline. So in CSS inline, the width and height attribute is not working. You can just save this and refresh. So you can see, as I told, the width and height attribute is not working, but it will select a default width and height, and the big difference is it is just displayed horizontally, but in display block we have the element display vertically. If you are using display inline block here instead of block inline dash block, so the width and height attribute is just working. Now I'm just going to zoom out, and the element will display horizontally, not vertically. So I'm just going to cut this block, or just cut this inline. Control X. So in display block the element will be displayed vertically. So in inline block the element will display horizontally. So the last element we have just here is none, display none. So it will just remove the element. Save and refresh. So you can see it is just hidden. So you can just use, for example, here display none, Control X in the black one, Control V, and save this. Now you can come here and refresh. So you can see the black box is removed. So after that we have visibility property. So there is nothing inside visibility property. For visibility we have 2 values, visible and hidden. So we are just going to use here, instead of display property, visibility. For example, visibility for this should be visible, the first attribute. Now you can save and refresh. So it is visible. If you want to just hide this, you can just write here hidden. Save and refresh. So you can see this box is hidden because we have the place of the black box here. If you are using instead of this, I'm just going to cut this, Control X, display none. So it will just remove the element with the place. So you can see this is the big difference, and I'm just going to paste CSS visibility hidden property here and refresh. So this is the difference between CSS display none property and visibility hidden property. In visibility hidden property, we are just hiding the element, but we have the place. But in display none property, we can just remove the element with the place. So this is just about just CSS display property and CSS visibility properties. So this is the last video of this section. I hope you have learned the basic of HTML and the basic of CSS. So from the next class we will come back and we will start creating our first project. So our first project will be, so we are going to just create a horizontal menu. So after the creating horizontal menu, we will create a drop down menu, then we will create a image gallery inside this, then we have some more project inside this course. So I have this is just a complete course for HTML and CSS learners. I hope you are going to like this course, and if you have any kind of question, please post your question inside the QA section of this course. And if you feel anything bad about this course, you can just contact me. I'll fix the problem. I will always add more content as you want for this course. So you can just contact me and you can just share your idea with me. I will be very happy. I will be thankful. So thank you. See you in the next lecture.